Welcome to the show today. I have a really spectacular guest to introduce you to. His name is Joe Cox. He is a YouTube vlogger at Joe Cox-Autism Vlog. He is amazing. He's so much fun. I love it because he reached out and he's like, "Hey, I would love to be on your show." And I'm like, "Who's Joe Cox? Let me go check it out." I got so sucked into this really fun vlog channel that he hosts on YouTube. It is amazing. Like, it makes my day. They're 5 minutes or less, and they are so much fun. Hi, I'm Carol Jean, founder and host of Mind Your Autistic Brain. And you are about to experience the new way to thrive in life and relationships as a late identified autistic by unveiling who you are, what you love, finding your balance, and being the leader and creator of your best life. Get ready, because this is where we go against the mainstream, say no to outdated society norms, and we say yes to who we are in order to create a joy-filled, balanced, and more neurodistinct world. Welcome to Mind Your Autistic Brain. So much fun. Joe, welcome to the show.
Hello, Carol. Thank you for having me on. It's good to be here today. Thanks for having me on. I'm honored to be here.
Oh, great. Well, Joe, I would love it. So I know that you were sort of early identified, but it's the process of, sometimes we don't always like really fully embrace it or accept it, or it doesn't really mean anything to a lot of people when they're younger. And it
Yeah.
comes sort of more into your world as you get older. So share a little bit of your autism journey with us. How did you find out? How did it come into your world?
Yeah.
And how did you start this amazing
No,
YouTube channel?
of course I will. Well, you see, Carol, in 2003, when I was 13 and in middle school here in Tucson, Arizona, I got the diagnosis that I had autism, and I got it from a neurologist, a pediatric neurologist. And my mom said, well, she was surprised, and she didn't really know what to think of it at the time. And so it was interesting getting that diagnosis at 13, because my mom really didn't know much about it back then. But then I got assigned prescribed different medications for my ADHD and autism and all that. And my teachers didn't really understand about autism. That's why I got in trouble a lot in middle school and got sent to the principal's office a lot. And then after I finished middle school, I moved on to high school. Things got a little bit better. And then for high school, I moved on to a special program for young adults with autism. It was like a post-high school program. And after that, I started college at the University of Arizona, 2011, graduated in 2019 with a degree in film and television. In 2016, I entered Chapel Haven West. That was a private school for those on the autism, or for those who have autism or other cognitive impairments between the ages of 18 and 25. And sadly, it closed this year on June 30th due to the coronavirus pandemic. But in 2016, August 2016, was when I started my YouTube channel. No, I started my YouTube channel in May 2010, but what I meant was I didn't start vlogging on my YouTube channel until August 2016. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to vlog about autism. I'm going to vlog about what it's like to have autism. And that is, well, as they say, I guess the rest is history. Now you know about the history of my YouTube channel and the history of what it to go through in autism to get there.
I love that. I love your story. I love how you share. What I really find like so fascinating is like when you were sharing about sort of the behind the scenes, and like when you have been on film sets and worked on student films and things like that. That was so cool. Like, I loved seeing that. I loved sort of just your spin on it.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've only worked on one student film, and that was in the spring of 2016. And no, it was fun. It was fun.
It was really neat to see, like, because you showed the pictures of like, this is what it looks like now. This is what it looked like back then, and it's like, my parents dropped me off in the middle of the night. We worked on this film all night long. It was just so cool.
It was in the middle of the night. They dropped me off at like 7:30, 8 p.m. But we did work from like 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. Well, I
Yeah, I remember you saying you were there really late.
And Carol, if you know anything about Tucson, that's a rather sketch part of Tucson, the south side where we were.
Right. So it was a little hinky feeling, huh? As they say in Scooby
Yeah,
Doo.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
You're waiting on Scooby Doo to show up and make sure you're all safe and good.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, say so, Joe. What would
Yeah.
be like the hardest part of your autism journey for you? Like, what has been
Oh,
like the biggest challenge that you faced?
biggest challenge I faced. The biggest challenge I faced probably had to be. Let's think about that. Well, getting through high school. That's probably my biggest challenge. And like
Oh,
2005.
you're not alone.
Just 2000. Well, freshman year of high school was okay. No, freshman year of high school was great. Sophomore year of high school was great. Junior year of high school was good. It's the senior year in 2009, no, 2008, 2009, that fall 2008, spring 2009 that had problems. I'm not going to say what the problems were because
It's okay. You don't have to.
no, I don't mind. They were just, yeah, no. But
Oh, well, I think that's one that so many of us really struggled with, especially those of
yeah.
us who didn't know we were autistic while in high
Oh,
school, just
okay.
trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if high school in like that last year of high school was like the hardest,
Hmm.
what would you say has been the best part?
Best part of high school was,
No, like the best part of your
oh,
journey of knowing you're autistic and
oh,
knowing you're different. Like, what's been the best part of that knowledge?
okay. Well, the best part of my journey in knowing I'm autistic, well, you see, Carol, when I started at the University of Arizona in 2011, I was like, I'm going to graduate, like 2012 or 2013. No, I only took one class a semester. They're like, you're not going to graduate for a while. So now let's go back a little bit, 2019, just before the pandemic started here in Arizona, anyways. Uh, it was close. It was like February of 2019, and they're like, Joe, you're going to graduate in May. I'm like, oh my God, I am. So I graduated May 2019, did the commencement ceremony. Didn't actually graduate until August 2019 because I had to complete some classes to get me to that required amount, the credits. I mean, so that was probably the most wonderful part of my autism journey is graduating from the University of Arizona.
That is awesome. And kudos to you because that takes a lot of tenacity, like a
Yeah,
lot of just like stick to it and keep going. So
yeah,
good for you. And you have a degree in film, correct?
I did film and television.
Yes. Okay. So Joe, I'm really curious. Like what what are you doing? I mean, how would you love like what is your like dream job for that?
Sure. My dream in Hollywood is actually no. My dream job is to go to Hollywood and be like a director, move to Hollywood, be a director, like an editor who works behind the scenes, uh, editing movies or TV shows. One of my other dream jobs, Carol, is to be a sitcom writer.
Oh, well, Joe, I could totally see you doing that because you are really witty. Like your
Thank,
vlog is always fun.
thank
I
you, thank
love how you do it.
you. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Joe, for
Hmm.
the month of November, we're talking all about gratitude and acknowledgement.
Okay.
And I would love to know, like, what in your life, what does gratitude and acknowledgement mean to you? Because it means something different for everybody. Like
Sure.
gratitude is from the place of just like being thankful and
Yeah.
acknowledgement from the place of, you know, being aware of and acknowledging the wonderful things that you love and are thankful for in other people. So,
Definitely.
what
Yeah.
is, I would love to know your thoughts on that.
Okay. Gratitude and acknowledgement for me, Carol, would probably have to be. Um, I guess I have gratitude for the fact that I have two parents that love me and want to support me on my autism journey, and they have done that a lot, which is really good. And I'm really thankful for my mom and dad who've done that for a very long time, and also my my other family members. And yeah, my acknowledgement, however, is that I've had these wonderful family members and they will never not stop supporting me on my autism journey.
I think those are some amazing gratitude and acknowledgement reasons and
Thanks.
whys. So, Joe, if you had like the one thing that you've learned along your journey, I mean,
Mhm.
because you've experienced a lot, you've gone through a lot,
Yeah.
your whole journey through college and getting to the end where you get to hold that diploma in your hand. I mean, that's a big journey and that's a lot of
Yeah.
experience in that. So
Yeah.
from that, what would you say would be like your number one thing that you want the person on the other side listening or watching today to know that this is something real important that I want to share with you about my
Sure.
journey that will
Yeah.
help you?
Okay. The most important thing that I want other people to know on the other side watching this is if you have a goal, like you have a big goal, like in your life, like graduating from college and you have autism, or you have a big goal like getting that college diploma, you know what? Just go for it. You can do it because anything's possible and you can achieve that goal. You can do anything you set your mind to, really. So just go for it, get that diploma, graduate from college. I believe in you.
Oh, Joe, that is amazing. Now, I know that that whole entire journey wasn't bump free. Like you probably had some challenges along the way.
Yeah.
When you faced those, how were you over, like think about one that was like
Oh,
this was a really big one. Like this was
sure.
a tough one. How did you handle that?
Of course. Well, Carol, the good news is, unlike high school, the U of A people were a lot more kind and understanding there, and they actually have two great resources for people on the spectrum like you and me at the U of A. They have the SALT Center, which stands for Strategic Alternative Learning Techniques. That is specifically made for people with autism and other disorders, so they can get test taking accommodations or like test study accommodations, note taking. You see, that's really a really handy resource at the U of A. So you really want to use the SALT Center if you have like autism or something like that. The other one that I used at the U of A was called the Disability Resource Center. The Disability Resource Center, they actually have quiet places where you can take a test, which are distraction free. They even have earmuffs you can check out, and it's totally sensory friendly. And you can, it
I
is
would have killed for that.
awesome, Carol. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh. See, I didn't know that I was autistic when I was in college. So it was like I was like knuckling down and scratching and doing the best I could, not knowing why everything was so much harder for me than everybody else that I saw. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I would have totally benefited from those accommodations. And that's amazing. So when you like sort of hit places where you're like, oh man, this is really hard, I'm struggling, then you had those two resources to go
I,
to and get
yeah,
help.
I did, and it was a really good thing.
That is fantastic. That is amazing. Well, Joe, what is one of the big things, like if you had to look back and you had to say, okay, this has probably been like the highlight of my college experience, like this was the best thing. Like if I think about all the things that I did and what I experienced, like this was the absolute best
Yeah.
thing that I experienced, what would that be?
The best thing I've experienced at college, Carol, was probably meeting new people. Like I loved meeting people at college. That was so much fun. I'm still in contact with some of them on social media, which is awesome. And
That's great.
I will never forget them.
That is fantastic. Yeah, because I know that you every now and then in your blog you'll mention, oh hey, I did so and so or this person, and you're like, and we're still talking on social media. So I
Yeah.
love that. I love it because I'm like, man, Joe stays connected, and I love that part. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you
Of
for
course.
adding your voice to our story so that people know that they're not alone. And if you guys just need something fun in your day, if you just need just a really great 4 to 5 minute break in your day just to make you feel just happy, go check out Joe Cox on YouTube. He has an amazing channel. Joe, where else can people find you? Because I know you're like everywhere.
Of course. Of course. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter, which is twitter.com/at Joe Cox 26, JOECOX 26. You can find me on Snapchat That's Joe, capital Joe, DK, capital DK, COX90. Not all caps, but the first letter is capitalized of each one. TikTok, I'm on TikTok, at joe.cox90. And on Instagram, I'm on Instagram at joe.cox27.
Yes. And we have a big group on Instagram, and I know we got a lot of TikTok fans out there. So you guys make sure you go check out Joe Cox, and I'm going to make sure in the show notes below all of Joe's links and where he is on all the different platforms so you can go find him, connect with Joe, hit him up with some questions, check out a couple of his vlogs and let him know what you think, because he has done an amazing job and he's so much fun, guys. He really is. Thanks so much for being here, Joe. I appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Carol.